Hello again, fellow Mystery Files. I am back once again discussing the artwork of book covers for Agatha Christie novels. This time we are on The Big Four, one of the adventure thrillers. Again, I have to say, Big Four, not one of my favorite novels. This is not a novel I know like super well like I do most of the others. So again, might be a little iffy here on some of the cover content because I just have not read this book a million times. But anyway, I'll do my best. And as always, make sure you like and subscribe to keep up to date with the channel. And there may be spoilers ahead here for the Big Four and only for the Big Four. And we're starting off, as always, with the original book cover here from William Collins. And again, it's a big four. I mean, not the greatest book cover here, especially for an original. We have a giant four on the page and the silhouette of a city, probably London in the background. Again, and the words "the big four." It's not that great. It's a little dark. I don't particularly like this. I actually think this is probably one of the weaker sort of original book covers. We have this Fontana edition from 1964. This is an Ian Robinson cover. And I think this symbolizes an image for each of the big four. We have Li Chen Yang as number one, the coin, the American coin representing Abe Ryland, the Soap King, as number two. I think that object on the right is some kind of like scientist object magnifying glass thing used by Madame Olivier, number three, and the dagger, of course, used by number four, found in the Lamb of Mutton. Again, I like this cover. I think I like the big four. Some of the covers do have like one image for each of the four, and I think that's interesting. I like that. It really like ties the whole novel together. We have this 1972 Fontana edition. This one is by Tom Adams. Again, we have the bishop from the chess piece. This is a famous chess set, apparently. I don't know chess very well, so I don't know. Again, that represents the chess murder. And we have the Chinese dragon in the background looming over things, symbolizing Li Cheng Yang as number one, who is apparently the boss of the big four, so to speak. And I really like this cover. I like using the Chinese dragon. It's a much better image than using like a caricature of a quote China man unquote that some of the covers do. That's really unpleasant. So I like this image a lot. This is actually probably one of my favorite big four book covers. We have this Waterstone edition, and I really like these, as I've said in the past. Again, we have the Bishop chess piece, very nice, with this very clean white interior and a woman in red. I believe that is Vera Rosikoff. We also see some shadows up in the snow, again, symbolizing the sort of end that takes place in that like chalet thing. Again, this book is really convoluted, so there's actually a lot of different like images and parts of the story you could use. So I can really like this image. I also really like these Waterstone editions. We have this recent vintage edition. Again, we have Poirot and Hastings traveling around, probably in like the countryside where they flee for like 2 years or something. Again, I don't know if this cover really like tells me anything about the big four. Doesn't really give like adventure thriller vibes here, but again, it's a nice image. I like the cover. Again, not sure it relates to the story too much. We have this most recent cover from Harper Collins and slash William Morrow. Again, Poirot and Hastings, you can see their little silhouettes in the window there. This is when they're hiding out in the mountains there. We have like an eagle soaring. This is a very nice image. Does give a little bit like a thriller vibes from this. Like I think it's because I know the plot. Like I understand what's going on here. Though I think if you didn't know the plot, you might get like a little cozier vibes from this. But this is a very nice image. I like this one a lot. All these new covers from HarperCollins are really delivering. Actually, we have this 2002 edition from HarperCollins. Again, Big Four on the cover, but we have silhouettes of the Big Four themselves. And I think that's interesting. Some of the covers we'll see actually do show their faces, but I actually don't think this is that spoilery because we're kind of like told who they are, except for number four. So again, we can see a woman, we see three men. Again, I really like this. Very mysterious, and I think it's very relatable to the plot. We have this Harper Collins edition, and I'm not sure what year this is from because the information said this was 2004, but it can't be because it's advertising Death on the Nile, which came out much later. But again, like this image, we have the bishop on the chessboard with the bloody path there. This is really ominous. I know, like, the chess set murder is like the most popular thing. I think that is the one people remember the most from the Big Four. Personally, I'm a big fan of the leg of mutton murder, but again, the chess set is the more iconic one, the one that's more image striking, and this is a great image. I love this one. We have this 2016 Harper Collins edition. Again, not a fan of this one. First of all, train. With Christie having so many train mysteries, you should just reserve your train images for those. I mean, I do think like Poirot and Hastings do take the train at one point, but again, that's not major plot of the book. I also just don't like the like font used for the title. Like, why does the four look like that? It's very not readable, really. Again, I'm not a fan of this cover. We have this 1996 HarperCollins edition. Again, a man, I think that's supposed to be Hastings. It can't be Poirot, no mustache. And with the boat and the silhouette, Poirot was going to take the boat to Argentina at the beginning of the novel and then got stopped. So this is a bit of a weird image. I'm not exactly sure what is supposed to be going on here. Again, I'm not sure like who these people are supposed to be, who this man is supposed to be. Again, this is not a particularly great cover for me. I like the image, but again, not really understanding it. And at the bottom, it says a dazzling display of order, method, and Poirot's little gray cells. Like, I don't know if I describe the Big Four as that. Certainly no order in this one. We have this Berkeley edition. This is the edition that I have in Read. And yes, I do associate the Big Four with bright orange. It is the only bright orange book for Christie in my mind. Again, I love these images. I love the collections here. We have a little figure of Li Chen Yang. We have the fallen bishop from the chess murder. We have a bomb in the background from when the explosion happens towards the end of the novel. I'm surprised a lot more covers didn't make use of the bomb. That's pretty like big dramatic moment here. I think would work great on a cover, but nonetheless. And we also have that note here has a lot of four scribbled on it. I really like this. It really ties the whole story together. You get a little bit of this murder, a little bit of that murder. You get like the Big Four representation. So it's all there. I mean, there's a lot to include, so we can't include everything, but this one's all there. We have this Berkeley edition, the silhouette of Poirot, and inside illuminated you see a chessboard. I believe that is not a chess piece. It could be. And then we have money, that money representing Abe Ryland, the soap king of America, who's number 2. I believe that like chess piece, it could be a chess piece. It really could. But to me, it looks a very feminine figure. I think that's probably number 3. But again, I like this image. I sort of like what they do. You see Poirot, you get like the little mysterious like chess set in the middle there. It's a nice cover overall. We also have this Berkeley edition. Again, we have the full chess set here, or almost a full chessboard here. Again, it's to me, this doesn't really give like Big Four vibes. I know just because it's chess doesn't, really give me anything here. I like, in the other uses, you see like the bishop is fallen, there's blood on the board. I mean, to me, this just looks like chess, and that does not strike me as particularly interesting here. And I know I mentioned this before, how I associate Christie novels and other novels from other authors with like the color on the edition that I have. So when I see other editions with different color schemes, it bothers me. Like this one is green. It's like, no, the Big Four is not green. The Big Four is orange. But again, that's just me being weird. We have this edition from Pocket Classics. Again, nice clean chess set here, the bishop. Again, I have to be honest, I don't know chess, so I can't be nitpicky about what position the pieces are in because I really don't know. But the reason why I like this one and the other one similar to it, but not that one that had like the full chessboard, is like, to me, so seeing these two pieces, this does give mystery vibes. Like the one that had the full chess set, it gave more like chess vibes, if you know what I mean. That's a bit weird, but I really like this image. It's a nice clean image. I really like this one. We have this NGN edition, and this is really interesting to me because it just looks like who are all these men? But this is a really interesting cover because I believe these are all the different impersonations of number 4, and I like that. It's very interesting because it doesn't, like, just this image doesn't spoil the story, but it also tells the tale here. And again, because this is an adventure thriller, we kind of like sort of know what's happening anyway. But again, this is very interesting here because all these men look very similar, just like, different like hat and different clothes. I thought it was very clever. We have this Bantam Doubleday edition. Again, I really like this one. Again, it's sort of very ominous. This looks like one of those like police detective like charts, where they tie the strings and they connect the evidence and everything. We have different pictures of different people. We see like Li Chen Yang. We see, I guess, maybe Vera Rosikoff. We have like other images here. Some of them are really hard to make out, but I like how like ominous this is. It's very interesting, actually. We have this Avon pocket-sized edition, and this is one of the ones I was referring to before. You see like clear images of the big four. We have Li Chen Yang, Madame Olivier. We have Abe Ryland, the Soap King, and we have our number four here. It was one of his impersonations. Again, I like the giant four in the background. Like this to me gives me like thriller vibes. Like this gives me like international villainy organization vibes, like in a way that none of the other covers really did. We have this Great Pan edition, and I like this one a lot. We have four chess pieces, each representing a different one of the big four, I believe, anyway. And again, I like these like striking red pieces. Like it's so like devilish and interesting to me. Again, you have the fallen bishop. Very nice cover here. I really like these. These Great Pan editions are very good. We have this pan edition, and as I just said, the pan editions were good. This one, not so great. Again, not a great image here of a quote-unquote China man. Again, I think we could do better than this sort of like racial stereotype on a book cover. I guess there's a chance this is also doubling as a bishop piece. We have seen that in other covers, but again, this one's not particularly great. We have this Avon edition, again, very pulpy cover here. Again, we have our Chinaman, of course. We have our number four, number three, and then we have who I think this is supposed to be representing Miss Madame Olivier, because number three. We also have to have like our femme fatale damsel in distress on the cover. Here she has a gun. I actually think this might be Vera Rosikoff more than Madame Olivier. That's sort of the vibes I'm getting here. But again, it'd be weird to just put like three of the big four on the cover and then Vera Rosikoff. Very weird. Also, question this quote: Christie's greatest, perhaps most baffling mystery of all time. Definitely not. Sorry. We have this Warbler Classics edition, and I've come to like these Warbler editions here, particularly what they do with the background. It's very nice. It's sort of like just random like scribbles. Gives it like a full like almost story to it. Like you definitely get like a sense of like international intrigue here. And we have these like images scattered about. We have like this dollar bill sign for Abe Ryland. We have fallen chess pieces. We have someone on a fishing boat. We got this silhouettes of people. Very mysterious. I really like this cover. We have this Dell edition. Again, not necessarily a big fan of this one. This one does give more like traditional murder mystery vibes here, but we have like a gun, we have a dagger, we have the Jack of Hearts. Again, in this coffin, that's what really gives it like the traditional murder mystery vibes. I don't think is necessarily appropriate. And we also have fours engraved on the coffin. I think this is supposed to represent like Poirot's like fake death. Spoiler alert. But again, it's a nice image, but again, I think there's better to have been done here. Moving on to some foreign language editions, we have the Spanish edition from Molino. And again, another like collection cover here, just a random assortment of different items throughout the novel. A dagger, we have a rope, we got the statue of Li Chen Yang. We have a pistol. Again, it's all here. It's all tied together. Again, because this story was originally just like a collection of short stories, Christie sort of just like merged into one novel. I do think it's more appropriate to do these like collection covers. We have this Spanish edition, again, the Bishop chess piece. We have a noose hanging again. Very ominous every time you see a noose on a cover here. Again, I do wish like maybe the bishop was fallen over, but again, this is a nice clean image here. I like this one. We have this Polish edition, again, with the chess pieces and the fallen bishop. I like how a lot of these are getting it right here, but they are falling the bishop that is in the novel. Again, they're not just putting a random chess piece, at least to my knowledge. Again, don't know that much about chess, but again, it's a nice image. I like sort of like how the title is like a little bit of blood splatter there. Again, a little mysterious here going on. We have this Turkish edition. Again, I've not been a big fan of these like Turkish language editions just because the covers are just very odd to me. Like this one makes it look like a beef eater at the Tower of London got shot or something. That is not what happens in this novel. Again, just representing London, and again, all these like editions have the blood splatter on it. It's very weird to me. Not a fan. We have this Arabic edition of a hand rolling the dice. I have to be honest, I did not recognize this scene from the novel anywhere. I think maybe it's just symbolic of fate and like rolling the dice. Again, I'm not sure. Someone more knowledgeable in this book might be able to better tell than I can, but I just don't recall this scene anywhere from the novel. We have this Indonesian edition, and I thought this one was very clever. We have chess pieces, each representing a different member of the Big Four, placed on a world map of where they're from. And I thought that was very interesting. It's very clever. We have Abe Ryland in the US, we have Li Chengyang in China, Madame Olivier in France, and then we have number four in England somewhere, or mysterious because we're not supposed to know where he's from. Yeah, I really thought this was a very clever cover. We have this other Indonesian edition. I like this one a lot. We have like what looks like mugshots of the different Big Four members. Again, I'm not a big fan that they made like Li Chenyang clearly yellowed his skin here. That is not great, but I think the concept of this novel cover is very nice and very clever. We also have this Indonesian cover, and I really like this cover. I like how they represent Li Chenyang as this Chinese style dragon breathing fire on the earth. That's very interesting. And I did wonder about this. I do think like Indonesia and China have good relationship. I did wonder if this was sort of like bigger threat or something like Indonesia, like a tension between Indonesia and China, but that appears not to be the case. Again, someone more knowledgeable than I am may know otherwise, but as far as I could tell, this is not like symbolic of that as I thought it initially was. We have this Italian edition. We have Poirot in the center, surrounded by again images of the Big Four, and I like this cover. I like how they show us who the Big Four are. It's not really a mystery, and again, we don't have any unpleasant yellowing of Li Chengyang, so that's good. Again, I really like this cover. We also have like a spider web type image as if they're caught in the trap here. Very creative. I really like this cover. We have this Swedish edition, again, images representing different members of the Big Four. We got money for Li Chenyang. We have money for Abe Ryland, sorry. And we have the little Chinese dragon for Li Chenyang, a pistol. We have a few other things in here. Again, this seems to be the running, most popular motif for this novel. And we have this Hungarian edition, which I thought was rather interesting. I wasn't sure exactly what was going on here. I was like, is that maybe Poirot with the mustache or Li Chen Yang? I actually think this is an image of Claude Durrell, number four, being transformed into one of his disguises. Yeah, it's a rather interesting cover. Again, I'm not sure what impression I got of the novel from this image here, though I thought it was interesting at least. And finally, I once again asked ChatGPT to generate an AI image for book cover for the Big Four, and this was the result. I have to say, this is probably my least favorite ChatGPT cover up to this point. I'm not really sure what's going on here. I'm not sure who that man is. I guess it's supposed to be Hastings. He does look a little different from the Hastings on previous book covers, but not too different at least. I'm not sure like what is going on with this like Batman signal of the woman's head. Like I don't know who that is. Is that Hastings' wife summoning him back to Argentina? Is that Vera Rosakov? Is that a number three? I don't know. And we have a big like castle thing that's probably the building from the end that gets blown up, where like the denouement happens and all that, or one of those two buildings. Again, not really sure here. I'm not getting like Big Four images. Like if the title wasn't there, I'd have absolutely no idea what cover this was supposed to be for. Not a clue. But again, it's a nice image at least. I can see it. Like the Roger Ackroyd one was a little dark. This one's at least you can see what's going on here. And that is it for this video. Let me know in the comments what you think about these covers for the Big Four. The next entry into this series will be the book covers of The Mystery of the Blue Train. So stay tuned for that. Until next time, Mystery Files.